Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got a good one in store for you. It's going to be showing you guys how to open up cash secured puts using primarily the Robinhood app. However, the strategy is going to go in depth on like a little bit of technical analysis, kind of reading the Greeks, and I'm going to make this as beginner friendly as possible. I'm not trying to overwhelm you by any stretch of the imagination, so you buy some $4,000 course or feel, more lost than when you watch this. My goal with this channel is just to give you guys all the stuff that's worked for me, and I'm giving you it all completely for free. There's no paid courses or anything like that here. The only cost of admission I ask you is like, if I help you out in any way, hit the like button and like follow me on X at only Peter Pru on all platforms. So today, again, we're talking about cash secured puts primarily. We're going to be talking about through the Robinhood app, but again, the app does not matter that you use for trading. It's the fundamentals are important, just like in everything in life. Like the fundamentals that you understand are really really key. A lot of people blow up their investment accounts because they go in because they bought their favorite gurus like trading signals and they follow it blindly like a sheep and they blow up their account. It's a terrible thing. So the strategy that's worked amazingly well for me. I used to manage a seven-figure portfolio with this strategy, and this is the strategy. I always called it quad option strategy. Like, kill me, I didn't come up with a better name, but I called it that because it involved cash securities, covered calls, dividends, and appreciation share. And that's what this channel is all about, showing you guys all this. Today, we're only focusing in on this leg, right? We're focusing in on cash secured puts. Okay, so let's get right into it. So one of the first things I like to do when I'm looking for cash secured put opportunities is going into stocks that I actually want to own. And that goes for anything. That's some really, really key investment advice is don't buy stocks just because somebody's talking about it on X or it's blowing up. Like you need to have some conviction and belief in the stock that you're going to buy. Like truly don't get caught up in hype. That's the stuff that's going to cost you so much money and lose you thousands, if not hundreds of thousands of dollars. We see it on Reddit all the time. I'm constantly out there helping people as well on Reddit. So like I just ask you, like, just please listen to me there. Do this on stocks you like. So one of the stocks that I do like, that I came across that's kind of really in a bad spot right now, is Airbnb. So I'm not going to overwhelm you here. We're going to kind of walk through this. Okay. What is a cash secured put? Let's really quickly define what that is if you don't know what it is. A cash secured put essentially means you decide the price of a stock that you want to get in on. All right. So for example, let's say you like Airbnb, right? And you're like, you know what? I love Airbnb. I would love to purchase 100 shares of this stock right now, right? You can go, open up your Robinhood app and, be like, okay, I'm going to go out there. I'll buy 100 shares today and it'll cost you, 127 times 100. Every option, I'm assuming, every options contract is 100 shares. Okay. Like that's very basic. Like I'm sure you already know that, but I just wanted to say it for those of you who don't. So what would that come out to? 100 times 127 is $12,700, right? That's how much you would go and purchase it for. Now, one of the things that I like to look at, and we're going to go into some very basic technical analysis stuff, is I like with cash secured puts. A lot of times, I want them to expire worthless unless I like want to get into the stock, right? But the cool thing is, it doesn't matter because you're getting paid premium anyway. You're going to get collected income just for saying you're going to do something. Whether or not it happens, it really doesn't matter, right? So, for example, if I just look at Airbnb over the past 6 months, you can see for the most part, like besides here, had some pretty massive dips. It's kind of like been, kind of like ups and downs. Like really, it's kind of been around the same spot where it has. Now it's obviously had a journey of ups and downs, but we're kind of ending up where we were about 6 months ago. And the thing about cash secured puts is you can decide what price you want to get in. So when I'm looking at this chart, right, I'm like, okay, we're pretty much at a pretty big low right here at 127. I'm looking here. Okay, we hit like 125 ish. Okay, I go back a little bit more. Oh, we were like at 117, 118, 121. Okay. And then you kind of, this is where we're going to go into the Greeks a little bit that help you. But at the end of the day, the Greeks and technical analysis, it's all a fugazi. Like, don't let anybody tell you that. Like, nobody knows if a stock's going to go up or down. Like, no one knows. Like, I'm trying not to use a bad language, but no one freaking knows if a stock's going up or down. All this technical analysis stuff with Greeks, it just helps us with our thesis, but it's never a guarantee. It is nothing. Okay, it is nothing. All right, but it does help you decide to make a more well-educated decision. Okay, and we're going to go into that in a minute. But at the end of the day, you have to be like, hey, what price would I actually want to buy it at? So it's like for me, when I look at this chart, I'm like, okay, we're towards the bottom. We've had some pretty big highs, 146 here. We're trading around 140-ish here. Up here we were around 135s, 137s. I'm like, okay, so 127 is like, okay, that's not terrible, but you know what? I think I'd like to get into this at like 120. I'm like, you know what? Like maybe even like a 115. I would be down to buy it. And that's what a cash secured put is. I can go out there to the market and be like, you know what, market, I want to buy 100 shares of Airbnb, and I'm willing to buy them for 120 or for $120 a share. So what your Robinhood app will do, or whatever app will require you to have that much money in your account as collateral, right? So if I'm saying I'm going to buy them for $120 a share, that means 120 times 100. That means I would need at least $12,000 in collateral in my brokerage account, your Robinhood account, to be allowed to do that trade, right? It'll stop you. It won't allow you to do it. Um, that's called selling a put, right? It's called selling a put, and we're going to get into that stuff in a second. Again, I'm not overwhelming you. All right. So right here, I'm like looking at it, and I'm like, okay, cool. A big question that a lot of people I've seen, especially because I've been like on Reddit and X a lot, just like helping people with this stuff, is a lot of people always struggle when to enter a cash secured put. Like it's like the most common question is like, hey, okay, well, okay, Pete, like, okay, in my mind, you're saying 120, but it's like, well, what actually is like a good number if with some analysis behind it, like some stuff that I can back it up. Like what gives you that conviction, right? So I'm going to go into some basic technical analysis right now. I don't want you to feel overwhelmed. Trust me, as you tune into this channel, I launch videos here basically every single day, Monday through Friday. I talk on X pretty much all day long, as well as Reddit. So go follow me at Only Peter Prue. Drop comments. Like I'm here to help you out. There's nothing for you to buy. I'm just genuinely trying to help you out. Okay. So what we want to do is go to chart, and I'm just using Yahoo Finance for right now. There are some other amazing like tools that are out there, and I will show those more advanced things. I know like the point of this channel is to not dumb things down, but like I know you're probably like a busy person. Like for me, like I used to run like a pretty large company with like 40 plus contractors, multiple businesses, right? Like my time was always like I and then I have like another two kids, another kid on the way. Like I have like my days are filled. Like I'm not gonna be like day trading. I didn't have time, and that's why I love this strategy because it doesn't require you to like look at charts and stuff all day. So I don't want what I'm about to show you like scare you off. Okay, so let's go to the chart tab. Okay, now this will look a little bit intimidating if you've never looked at it before. Okay, I get it. So what this tool is going to allow us to do is to plot some basic indicators. Okay. Now, again, a lot of these indicators are a fugazi. Okay. They are, but they help us make more educated decisions. Okay. More times than not. So the first one, I don't want to go into all of them. I'm going to give you like two to have today. Like, and these two, for the most part, should like be good with selling options. For the most part, you really selling options is not that complicated. That's like as you guys are going to see. So the first one is these Bollinger Bands, and you could just click indicators and you can add your Bollinger Bands right here. And I added them in. Leave everything default, okay? Leave everything default. 30. Leave it just like how it is, okay? Don't touch anything there yet. We'll go into more changing stuff up, and that will plot this these three lines. You see these three lines, these three black lines along your chart. Now, what do you see that's kind of interesting? Well, over the past like what 3 6 months, about what's happened for the most part, not every time, we hit the top of a line and we start retracting. We hit the top of the line, we start retracting. Hit the top of the line, sometimes we go a little past the line, we get a little crazy, but then we quickly come back down, back to reality, right? And then what happens at the bottoms, right? Okay, we kind of start getting towards the bottom, we go back up. We hit this bottom, we went just a little bit, you can kind of barely see, and then shot back up. And what are we at right now? We're at the bottom. What does that tell us? Now, again, what I'm telling you right now, this is not a guarantee that it's going to go up. But when you look historically, right, over a set period of time, for the most part, it will bounce off this bottom Bollinger Band line and go back up. This middle line is your moving average. Okay, now there is an indicator in here that you could do your moving average, edit it, and you could do that kind of stuff. You could edit your Bollinger Band for times, and some more like advanced stuff like the deviation and stuff. Like I'm not going to go into that, and like and you don't need that information right now. Like I just want you to like grasp basic concepts. Okay. So this middle line is what your 30-day moving average is. That means what for the past 30 days, what has this stock been trading at? That's simple as that. Like, what has this stock been trading at for the past 30 days? And as we see here, this stock has been trading for the past 30 days at $130.63. Okay. What are we trading at right now? $127.09. Well, that's good information, right? That means we're below the 30-day average. Okay. This is what I'm about to say is not always true, but for the most trades, as you kind of gain experience in this, it is. You sell cash secured puts when you're between this moving average and the bottom line. The closer you are to the bottom line, the more money you're going to make from your premiums, as you're going to see. I'm going to go into the Robinhood app and show you guys this in a moment. Stay tuned. Okay. When you're up above, that's where you get into the covered calls. Tomorrow's video, I'll do the covered call side. Okay. So like, I don't want you to, let me just show an example. All right, let's do this. I love this stock so much. It's. I'm not going to go into why, but it's people are sleeping on it. Micron. So I was just looking, doing my own research right here. So see how this stock is between in the top of this Bollinger Band, towards the middle and the top. I wouldn't do cash secured puts on this. And the reason I wouldn't is because of a second indicator that I want to tell you about, and that's called the RSI, and that's called the relative strength index. And I swear, guys, like, because I read a lot. I read a lot of books, right? And this is why I've always wanted to start this channel. I'm so passionate about this. I'm so excited to share this with you guys that I finally have time to do this stuff, because I like previously was just so bogged down with like work and business and just so much stuff that I get to finally like dedicate a lot of time to help you guys with this. Free, of course. There's no paywall. There's no gatekeeping. I'm here to help you guys out. Drop comments, whatever, like here for you. This stuff, as you're going to see, you're going to question why people aren't taught this stuff. Like, and that's that, and it's really sad, because like I'll talk to my friends and even family members sometimes about this. I'm talking about like cash your cover, and they're like, "What? What are you doing? Like, what? It doesn't make sense. I can't be a day trader. I don't want to stare at screens all day. I don't have time." I think that society does this for a reason, doesn't teach this stuff in schools, because it's not that complicated. Look, I'm going to ask you a very simple question right now that's going to explain the RSI, relative strength index. They make up these terms to confuse us. I swear to you, they don't want normal people knowing how to do this kind of stuff. Okay. But I'm going to tell you guys, this stuff is so simple, right? It can get complex, but for the most part, it's simple. All right. So I'm going to explain an RSI to you in a very, very 5-year-old fashion, how I plan to teach my kids this stuff, right, when they're older, right? If a bunch of people are selling, right? They're selling a stock. They want to get out of the stock. They want to sell it. They want to get out of it. What does that do to the stock price? Like, I know you know the answer. This isn't a trick question. This isn't a trick. If a bunch of people are selling a stock, right, and they're trying to get out of it, what will that do to the price of the stock? It goes lower, right? Like, yeah, of course, everyone's trying to get out. Like, I'm out of this. I don't believe in it. Like, I'm scared, right? Give me my money. Like, they're trying to get out of it. And what happens when a stock price, right? And a lot of people are buying a stock. Again, not a trick question. What happens to the price of a stock when a bunch of people are getting into it and buying it? It goes up, right? That's just it's basic, right? It's not difficult to grasp, right? That's what RSI is, okay? And that's what these Bollinger Bands are. They are basically telling you sentiment in the market. I don't even want to say sentiment in the market, but you could kind of look at it that way, okay? What's going on? Like, are people selling this thing off? Are people buying it a lot? Now, The RSI is a range, right? And you could see there's like a 20 and 80 here. If it's towards the top, towards this 80, that means a lot of people are buying it. A lot of people are buying it, right? That means the price is going to be going up. If it's going closer to this 20 mark, right? That means a lot of people are selling it. They're selling off on it, which, we see it's at a 39. Anything in that 30 range, you're starting to see a lot of the activity in the market. Like people I wouldn't say it's a huge sell off by any stretch of the imagination, but like people are selling off. And that's why it's towards the bottom of the Bollinger Bands. This is what I look at when I'm looking for a setup. Okay. And this is what you want to do. And this doesn't require you to like be out there looking at like 100 stocks to find where's that setup. As I create more videos and content on the channel, you'll see I keep it simple. I have about 15 to 20, 30 maybe stocks that I look at that are my stocks. And depending on what the day is doing, I will look at what's going on, right? Where are we sitting at right now? What price movements are we happening? Do I have any setup entry points? When I look at Airbnb right now, this is a great setup. This is an ideal setup for a cash secured put play. Okay. As opposed to like, let's look at a Micron, right? We're above 50, right? 50, look at 50 as like that middle ground. So, people aren't like, crazy buying it, right? There's not a ton here, but it's people are buying it. People are and it's in the middle of the Bollinger Band, right? So again, this is where if I had 100 shares, I'll do a cover call. That's for tomorrow's video. I'm not getting into that right now. I don't want to overwhelm you. Okay? So this is a setup. Okay, so what have we talked about so far? Number one, because we're going to now go into the Robinhood app. We're going to look at an options chain. We're going to talk about a few other things. Okay. So we found the stock that we believe in, and it's getting beat up a bit, right? So, Airbnb getting beat up. We went to the chart section of our Yahoo Finance. We added our Bollinger Bands and our RSI indicators, right? We looked, hey, does our thesis make sense to open up cash secure puts? Is it towards the bottom of the Bollinger Band? Fantastic, it is. And then what is our RSI indicator letting us know? This is a setup. We now can go after we have done some basic research, guys, and like I'm talking to you here, like I don't know how long I've been on here yet, but like I'm talking now, like this stuff takes minutes, like not even minutes, right? Like this isn't something that takes a long time once you kind of get used to it. So now it's a setup. Now, other things you can do, you can go to the news section, right? You can go into their financials, and you can do all those things to educate yourself about the company. I do recommend you do that. I highly recommend you do that right before jumping into a stock. Remember, these strategies that I recommend with the quad option strategy, you should only be doing them on companies that you wouldn't mind holding for the long term. You get burned when you start doing this kind of strategy because you're only chasing premiums for companies that could go basically out of business and wreck your portfolio. So I know I said that earlier, but that's like I can't stress it enough. So again, if you don't know anything about Airbnb, you haven't like researched it, you haven't looked at like anything about it, but you just see it's a great setup, I probably wouldn't recommend you open up cash secured puts because there's might be some other stuff going on in the company that you just don't understand, and it could actually end up going a lot lower, right? So like educate yourself about the companies. This is why I recommend, like, if you're going to get into this, like, pick 5-10 companies that you genuinely love and you wouldn't mind holding, that you can then monitor on the daily for setups, right? And that's what I call a setup, right? What I just went through, looking at finding the company, looking at this, doing some basic charts, and basic indicators. Okay. So let's now open up our Robinhood app here. So go and open up a Robinhood account. You can do Webull, you can do Schwab. Please don't let this be like the thing that you will like overthink. Me personally, I've always loved using Schwab. The reason we're using Robinhood is because I found on YouTube, base and Twitter and X and Reddit, everybody uses Robinhood. So I'm doing most of these tutorials using Robinhood, and I used I'm not going to go into like my whole issues that I've had with Robinhood in the past. I think it's a lot better company than it was when I was heavily using it, probably like 5-6 years ago. There's just all this stuff that they were doing that I didn't believe in, that kind of forced me to get out of them. I like it. It's something I'm going to be using heavily. Okay, especially for the trainings here on the channel, because again, it's so simple to use. And again, I think anybody, it's not intimidating. Like if I open up like my Webull app or like a Schwab, like it can get a little bit more complex, but I do plan on this channel to create tutorials for cover calls, cash routes for specific apps as well. So stay tuned for that. Okay. And if you're enjoying everything I'm telling you so far, do me a favor. Hit the like button, subscribe button, do all those things. I'll leave my X down below. Drop a question. I'm here to help you guys out. So let's open up our Robinhood app. I like to use the desktop for this kind of stuff. I don't know, call me old school in some way, shape, or form. I don't like to I don't like crypto stuff. I'll usually do like on my phone, but like I don't know. I just like to use the desktop for stuff like this. Like whatever, call me old fashioned. So let's just type in Airbnb um and open it up. So right? We have a chart here. Now, Robinhood does have some cool new tools and stuff. I don't know. Again, I like to just there's so many tools out there, guys. Just stick to one that works for your strategy. Like if you like to use like Webull for more like charting stuff or like Trading View or like Yahoo Finance, just do the thing that you like. Again, I'll shoot videos on like more tools and stuff, but like don't overwhelm yourself with this stuff because again, Robinhood's been putting a lot of effort. I think it's called like Robinhood Legends, which honestly is pretty good. It's not like super advanced, but like for like basics, like it's great. So now we're here. You'll need to go get your Robinhood account approved for options. What I have found is you can't get it options approved on desktop. So log into your app, click Investing tab on your app, and then just click Approve Options, and there you're off to the races, right? And now once you're here, you can then click Trade a Airbnb, Airbnb. That gave me a tongue twister option. So here we are, couple of things that we're gonna have to go through here. Okay, don't feel overwhelmed. This I still remember like the first time I started getting into options. I was like my hands started sweating and I was so nervous. And I'm like, look, if I could, like, dude, like you look, my point in this channel, I'm gonna be like completely blunt. Like, I want you to like collect your first premium using something that you've learned on this channel, and like that is such a win, right? Because you're gonna see these premiums can be are awesome. Like the premiums on this stuff is awesome, and I like it's great. Um, so this is where you're gonna have your buy sell or your calls or your puts. Buy Buying, this is meaning what strategy, right? Are you buying options or are you selling options? Stay the hell away from buying options right now. Stay the hell away from buying options. Okay. Unless you're like more experienced, we'll get into more buying option strategies. It is so much more risky. It is so, like astronomical. I get into arguments on X about this stuff with people. I don't care. I've seen horror stories. The horror stories you see where people like again, go on Reddit, like go in like some of the options tradings on Reddit or X. Like people are just blowing up their accounts and losing hundreds of thousands of dollars, right? Don't do it. It's a more advanced strategy. If you're a beginner, which I'm assuming if you did, like, and you made it this far in this video, like you probably should just be sticking to selling options. Okay. It's a lot less risky, right? Because we're choosing you can't nuke it for the most part unless you just are chasing like a company you don't believe in. You're getting into a stock you like at a price you choose. Like that's as simple as that. Like that's what, like it's as simple as that. So first thing we're gonna do is go somewhere safe. We're gonna click sell, okay, and just verify you're selling here. Now you see it says selling a call. We're going to talk about this more in another video. That's going to be our covered calls. We are talking about cash secured puts. So we are selling a put. There we go. We are safe. We are where we are supposed to be. We are selling a put on BNB. So just if you're first time doing this, I know it can get scary, right? And I know the feeling. This is where you want to be. The next thing we're going to be looking at here is expiration. I want to say this in just like a very blanket way, because there's awesome strategies for weeklies. And I want to get into that for generating weekly premiums, weekly income from doing cash secured puts and covered calls, especially on more volatile stocks. For quote unquote safer stocks, I recommend, for the most part, you're going to want to be in that 30 to 45-day period, right? And the reason for that is number one, you're going to collect more premium. Number two, the more time that goes by, the less likely something is going to happen, right? So you kind of want to let time do its thing. And it's going to make sense that what I'm telling you is going to make sense here in a moment. So we're going to just click February 28th right here, right? That's 30, 33 days. That means that I want to sell a covered call. That means back to like where when we started this thing. I said, right? I said to myself, I want to buy Airbnb at like 120, maybe even lower than 120, in 33 days. And that's where I'm where when that date comes, if it hits that price, I will be buying it. I will be buying Airbnb, but I should be happy because I got it at a great price. Right. So let's take a look. Here on the left hand side, this is called your strike price. Don't ask me why they call it that. It should just say share price, but whatever. Again, a lot of complicated things here that they make things more complicated than they need to. This is your share price. What did we say we were looking at? Right, here's this middle line that's just showing you what the price is trading at right now. If we scroll down, we're looking for like that 120, 121, 120, 119, and we're gonna go into like which one Pete should I choose? Everything. This is why I don't like Robinhood, because like the things it says just don't make sense and I don't like it. Chance of profit, right? Like I don't like that. Is not to me something you should ever be looking at. It is a fugazi as so many things are in trading. Like don't it literally is stupid, right? Like it's dumb, right? So right here we are at 121, 120, and 119. Now I'm going to give you guys, this is where you're going to have to decide where your risk tolerance is going to be. Do you actually like let's just open one up so it makes the most sense. So I'm going to look at this like 119. I'm going to open up this 119. Lots more information here. Big things are the Greeks. Okay, and I'm gonna have a full video dissecting and explaining every single one of these Greeks. The only one you should really care about as a beginner getting into options trading and selling options is delta. Okay, now this delta is basically telling you what is the chance of this thing actually coming true. Again, fugazi, right? But you could see it says it's 0.29. There is a 29% chance. This is the way you can kind of look at it. There's a 29% chance that on February 28th, right, 33 days from now, Airbnb will hit $119. So for example, if I just go up to a little higher and I go to this 127 one, right? It's trading at 127. I open this up, right? What my delta is 46, right? That's a 46% chance that in 30 days from now, right, on this date, that Airbnb will be trading at 127. So as you see this, the lower we go in the share price, like, well, let's just go to like 85, right? Right. There's like basically, actually, we can't even see it. Let's just go like a little bit higher. Like, let's do 110, 110, for 0.14. There's a 14% chance that Airbnb will be $110. Okay. That's basics, right? That's like right now, that's all I want you to take from this. We're going to talk about a lot more other stuff in future videos, implied volatility, volume, open interest, especially, right? We're going to talk about all that. So, what is the ideal number? This is where you kind of have to decide what your risk tolerance is. My recommendation, between 20 and 30. And the reason I like to be between 20 and 30, and if I really want to like buy the stock, like let's say it's like I really want to buy Airbnb. Like I genuinely want to own this company, and I'll go a little bit higher. Like I might even go like 125, or sometimes I'll do real close to at the money. I'll even do it at 127. And the reason you would do something like that is because you're getting paid more when you do something like that. All right? So, let's just show you an example. Like let's say 120. I'm going to click this plus button right here, okay? So, I've decided this is, 0.30. Let's just do let's actually just do 119 because that's at 0.29. It's roughly 30, right? 0.29%. So I'm going to click this little plus sign. I'm like, okay, I like this 119. That's it hits my between my 0.20 and 0.30. I could go even lower, but whatever. I'm going to go with this one, and I'm going to click the plus sign. Now, this is where things kind of get overwhelming for you. Don't be. The reason I actually do like Robinhood a lot now is it kind of makes sure you're like in the right place. It's telling me you're doing a cash to put. Like, so that should give you like a little sigh of relief. Okay, I'm in the right place because there's a lot of strategies you can do with options. There's a lot of cool stuff you can do, and we will get into them like spreads and stuff like that. But it'll tell you what strategy you're doing. So it won't like a lot of the more advanced tools out there, like they're not going to tell you that. So it's nice that like Robinhood's like, okay, you're doing a cash you could put. That's what we're trying to do, right? So okay, like we're good. All right, we're doing $119 put, right? Perfect. That's a put is right. Yeah, that's what we're doing. We're selling a put. Total credit $3.55. How? Hold up. That's $3.55 fee. So I'm only being credited $3.55. Like what? It's times 100. Times 100. So let's just scroll down a little bit and let's all calm down here. And we could see what are we going to get today. When we execute this trade, immediately, $355 will be deposited into your account and you are done. You just made $355 from one contract. Okay. Now, if those numbers don't, you don't like, you can buy as many contracts as you want. Like there's nothing stopping you from buying more than one contract. Okay. Now, I'm going to give you guys a quick little, very simple calculator that I kind of just it's again designed for ease of use. So this is my cash secured put calculator. So how much are we going to get paid on this Airbnb? 355. So I'm going to put 355. How much premium am I collecting? My collateral is 119, right? We're going to buy it for 119. So that's $119 times 100, right? Like you guys get it. Our expiration is about that 30-day mark once the market opens. And this is our monthly return. We just made 3% on our money in a single month just by executing this trade. Okay. Now you can buy more than one contract. So I have this little column here to make it very simple. So if you wanted to own, let's say you wanted to do 5 contracts, that's 500 shares. So that's going to require a lot more money, right? So I'm just going to put 5 here. That would require you to have 59,500 in collateral in your account to be able to execute that trade. But you would collect $1,775 immediately would be added into your Robinhood account that you can use to do whatever, buy stuff with, like invest in other stuff, right? Like it is income. You just did the first income stream in the quad option strategy. You just opened a cash secured put, right? And you've collected a premium. Okay. Now annualized, I always like to kind of look what it's annualized. Some people will really try to push this 50% and over. I don't. You're getting into more risky stock territory there. And that's again that's just not what I do. I don't want to be in like risky stocks. Occasionally I'll do some dumb things. Okay, we all do. We all get caught up in some hype, but most of the time it doesn't work. And I just have a couple other things here, right? I like to see what my expiration date is. I like to see how many trades per year I could do of this. So just about that 12. My annual premium, if I do this trade, is going to be $4,300. And then my annual return, if I could do this trade every month for a year, is 36.30%. Okay. Here's the thing that a lot of like people won't tell you is eventually you're going to be assigned, and that's okay. When I say, what does that mean? Like when I say you're going to be assigned eventually, like with Airbnb, like the following month, like let's say Airbnb does tank and it does get to $119, and you are going to now own $119 worth of Airbnb stock. Like you're going to own it now. That $11,900 is going to be taken from your Robinhood account, and then you will be given 100 shares of Airbnb at $119. And you're like, okay, cool, because you like the stock, right? So it's fine. And that's when we can then do something called covered calls. And that's what we're going to talk about in the next video. Okay. That's where you can go into covered calls. We'll talk about that. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video explaining how to do cash secured puts, specifically with the Robinhood app. If you enjoyed it, do me a big favor, hit the like button, subscribe button. I am planning to launch new videos here every single day. Everything is completely for free, no gatekeeping. Ask you questions in the comments. I'm here to help you guys out. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, guys, and I will see you tomorrow.